Welcome to A Slob Comes Clean, the podcast. I'm Dana White. I blog over at aslobcomesclean.com. That's where I share my personal deslobification process. As I figure out ways to keep my own home under control, I share the truth about cleaning and organizing strategies that actually work in real life for real people who don't love cleaning and organizing. This is podcast number 140. Thanks for joining me today. I'm talking about folding laundry and why it feels so hard. Okay, so let's talk about laundry. Okay, you want to talk about laundry? Right? Because laundry is the most fun thing to talk about ever, right? Okay, I'm just going to be clear. I am not giving you folding tips. That's just not the kind of cleaning advice person I am. I'm not doing that at all. I'm talking about the routines and the actual getting it done. And I have no folding tips except for two. And that is for sheets, put all of the pieces, the bottom, the top, the extra pillowcases inside of one pillowcase so they're all there. Are they pretty? No. Do they fit perfectly in and stack perfectly and all that? No. Will I ever be able to fold a fitted sheet in my entire life? No, because I don't care enough. It's not even so much that I have tried all these different ways and can't find a way. It's that I don't care. Like, it does not bother me in the least for my sheets to be wrinkled and imperfect. Sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. One other little tip on laundry that I love, and I'm not there yet. I do have one extra set of sheets, which is really, really decluttered down for me. But there are a lot of people who do not have extra sets of sheets. They just wash them and put them back. But, you know, when you're a mom and you have kids and you've had enough, we're kind of out of this phase, but I'm not quite ready to completely mature and grow up on this. But we're out of the phase where, you know, kids puke in their beds and you have to change things in the middle of the night and you've got to have extra sets of sheets. But anyway, I love the idea of only having one set, washing it, putting it straight back on. I think that's a really cool way to do things. But anyway, so I'm not talking about that. Oh, and I roll my towels. I roll them because I can't get them. That's the neatest that they can possibly look for me. But that's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the folding, as in, when do you fold? I got this email from one of you. Thank you. And she says, I've been reading the blog and listening to the podcast for a while now. I think I finally get stuff, truly. I've been keeping up on dishes and laundry. Yay. That's her that said that, but I sang it. But folding the stupid laundry, I can't seem to get down. Folding laundry options. Put it in basket. This is her. Move to couch/bed. It could get left there. Fold halfway and leave before done, or leave when it's folded and walk away without putting it away, or fold in front of the dryer, but I don't have enough room to hang everything and separate for everyone. Do I need to install a clothesline over the dryer? ? And how do people carry stuff to closets? Do they put hung up clothes back in the basket to carry to the closets, or take the hangers by the armful? How do people do this part? I am totally lost. Thanks for any advice. Okay. So I read that really fast because in my mind, that's the way she was saying it, because it's just kind of that I can't get this thing to work. So I'm just going to tell you what has worked for me. Before I do that, I'm just going to tell you a couple little stories. So laundry is this weird issue to me. So I have Normal Friend, and Normal Friend I've talked about before, and she is amazing at her house and all that kind of stuff. Like it's her passion, it's her thing she's really good at. Great. I remember one time talking about laundry with her, and she was like, what is the big deal about laundry? She's like, it's like the easiest thing ever. And I don't remember all the details of what she said. You just blah, 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 this, or whatever. And part of it was, she would, I think she folded everything on, I don't know, a certain night or something like that. So I don't know the details, but I know she had something and she folded everything. She just kind of left it all and folded it on a certain night. My mother-in-law just moved into an assisted living, right at a month and a half ago. Oh my goodness, almost 2 months ago. That's crazy. Anyway, so she's been there and they do her laundry, and I'm not quite sure what happened because she was really happy with it for a while. And I guess they put their laundry outside their door and the night shift people would do the laundry. I don't know. Anyway, last time I talked to her, she said, yeah, I'm not having them do my laundry anymore. And I don't know if it was just one time that things got messed up. But anyway, it was all so incredibly wrinkled that she'd had a really hard time getting all the wrinkles out of things, and she wasn't happy. And so she was just going to do it herself. She wasn't really upset about that. They have like a laundry room with multiple washers and dryers, because there are a lot of residents that enjoy doing their laundry, which that was my grandmother. She loved doing laundry. Like if we came to her house and we had something that needed to be laundered, she was happy about it. Like she loved doing laundry. I loved her. But she and I were not like alike in that way. Anyway, so there's all kinds of different perspectives on laundry. I did a video a couple weeks ago, actually filmed a video back in April, I think it was. But I put it out a couple weeks ago talking about how when I was majorly under my book deadline for my next book that comes out in February of 18, I did what I had always wanted to do, which was I took our family's laundry to a wash and fold place, which I think I said in the video I had never done before, but I did used to do that when I lived in Thailand because that was just a thing and it was easier and cheaper and just made more sense. And I would take my stuff there. But I took our family's laundry to a wash and fold place. It was a dream. It was awesome. I loved it. Everything came back perfectly, wonderfully folded. However, it cost $50 for a week's worth of laundry. And I'm not going to do that. Like I can't justify that. Okay. Now I'm just telling myself, hey, I'm saving $50 a week doing my own laundry. But I'm just going to tell you how I do things. Okay. I fold straight out of the dryer. As I've said many times before, you can do laundry day. I have a podcast explaining how laundry day works. It works so much better for my brain type than the oft given advice of doing a load every day. I am not capable of doing a load every day and being consistent at that. I end up washing the same load over and over and over because I leave it in there and it starts to stink and I have to put vinegar on it, blah, blah. Anyway, that does not work for me. But doing a single laundry day, like yesterday was Monday, I got all of our laundry for the entire week done. Okay. This morning I folded the last load that was in the dryer and I took the towels out of the washing machine. That was the last load that I washed. I stuck them in the dryer. And to be completely honest, towels are fine if I forget to go and finish folding that last load, and I'll just get them on Monday morning next week, or my family will use them throughout the week, whatever. But that rocked my world. I have laundry under control. So I see these internet memes, have you seen the ones that say, I hear that there are people in this world who wash, dry, fold, and put away their laundry all in one day. Weirdos or something like that. And I get it. I get that because, oh my goodness, I struggled with laundry for 39 years or something of my life. But, I have to look at it and go, yeah, they said that to be funny, not because they want me to go, well, let me just tell you how exactly that works, because I actually do know now. So I have to kind of keep myself from saying anything, because I know that that's not a welcome advice. It's not like a venue. Nobody's asking for advice when they say that to be funny. But I also know how weird it is and how weird it was for me, because forever, even after I got laundry under control, just like this person said, she has laundry under control. It's the folding and the putting away. That step. How does that actually work? Well, for the longest time, I had laundry under control, but I didn't have that step done. So we spent a lot of, several years with, yes, we had clean clothes every week, but we were pulling them out of a pile on the love seat. Okay. Because the folding step was the one that just blew my mind. I just couldn't do it because I was like her. I would go put them on my love seat and leave them there, thinking I was going to get to it while I watched a show, except that once they were there, I didn't have to think about it. It blended in. I never saw it again, and we just lived that way. Or I would tell myself, okay, I'm going to go put them on my bed so that I can't go to bed without folding them. Well, so I have this amazing ability to be like, yeah, I can totally go to bed. And I would just pick them up and go put them back on the love seat or put them on the dresser in my room or whatever. And it didn't stop me from going on to bed. So that folding step is a huge hang-up point, even if you have laundry under control. Folding straight out of the dryer is the thing. Okay, it went against my ideas of efficiency in that I thought that it was more efficient to go ahead and get the laundry going with the next load. Like I thought it does not make sense for me to stop and fold things as I take them out of the dryer, because if I will go and pull big, handfuls, armfuls of things, go put them on the couch for me to fold, then I can go ahead and get the laundry from the washer into the dryer, get that drying, start another load washing, and then I can go back and fold the stuff that's on the love seat, except that I never did. And so when I finally accepted that I needed to just fold things straight out of the dryer, I had all these same questions. How's that going to work? What's that going to look like? And I went ahead, started doing it. And it just rocked my world. It's like if I folded things straight as I took it out of the dryer and went ahead and went and put it in the drawers, it's like the laundry just disappeared. As it was clean, it just disappeared. And there weren't piles anywhere. And that overall kept my entire house looking a lot neater. But how does that work? Well, I fold them on top of the washer and dryer. Okay. So I have, I still have a load in the washing machine. And so that lid is closed. And the lid of the washing machine, usually for me, actually, of course, I have the top loader, but that stays clear because you have to open it and close it all the time. Unlike the dryer, that you don't take it out of the top, and so the top tends to kind of get piled with other things. But the top of the washer, that's not very much space. That's like 3x3 or something. It's not very big. When I had a dryer where the door opened downward, so that it was kind of like a little level there, I would use that little dryer door and the top of the washer, and that was it. No, that's not a ton of space. But I just do these piles, we've got 5 people in our family, so I have 5-ish piles. And as they get a little too much or unmanageable, I go ahead and take a trip to take them to the drawers where they go. And sometimes that means I'll take 2 or 3 trips during that folding process, but it's still worth it because of the overall way that it makes my laundry disappear. It's that phenomenon that just boggled my mind. It was really, truly disappearing. And ultimately, I'm just completely done with that load of laundry when I'm done with that load of laundry, not having this thing that's sitting there on this couch waiting and looking messy and driving me crazy, even though I'm not even noticing it, So that's what I do in that small amount of space, the top of the washer and that door of the dryer. Now I have a dryer that opens out instead of down. Does that make sense? So like right to left. And as I do that, it, I don't have that dryer door to use anymore. So for one, that motivates me to keep the top of my dryer cleaner. When I say motivates, you understand that means that I'm more likely. It doesn't mean that I'm always. So there are times where I've got some things on top of the dryer. Well, I just make piles on top of those things. Or if I can't, I just make, I have to make more trips to the drawers to clear off the top of the washer sooner. But I'm just telling you, give it a try. It is worth it. it's totally, completely worth it to try the folding straight out of the dryer. That is the key to all of your questions. Okay. It is the most magical step. Do I do it perfectly? No, not at all. Okay. Now you did ask specifically about hanging. One of the things that I do is, and people taking things. I don't use laundry baskets. We have some laundry baskets that are taller than normal. You can see them in that video that I took about, taking my laundry for wash and fold. They're taller. They're more like hamperish. And we only use those for dirty laundry. That's it. I mean, that's just a place to hold. It's a container for dirty laundry. So it's not just everywhere and all over the floor. And that's it. That's the only thing that those are used for. I just take things handful by handful to the places around the house where they go. Sometimes if there's a smaller little stack, I'll put that under my armpit, which I guess technically might make it less clean, but I'm clean. So anyway, whatever. But I do. I take those small stacks in my hands. If my family is home, then they come in and I hand them stacks to go put away. Now, do I have to, and I especially used to have to really monitor that to make sure that they actually got to where they were supposed to go? Yes. One of the things, especially with my kids, is I do not give them large stacks and I don't give them stacks that go in multiple drawers. Like I can do some under my armpit and some under this armpit and then hold this one this way and this way. And remember that this is 4 different stacks that need to go in 4 different drawers. My kids, I just hand them a wad because I don't fold underwear and, I do match socks, but I don't fold underwear and socks. I hand them those and I say, go put this in your underwear drawer. I, give them not huge stacks. So even if they have a 2-foot tall stack of that I've been able to balance somehow of, shorts and t-shirts or whatever, I'm going to split that into 3 different trips for them, Now, we don't have a humongous house, so nobody's that far from the laundry room, but even still, I mean, come on, they're kids and they can do that. If your house is bigger than ours. So that's one of the things I do. For hanging clothes, I do like to hang. Like I hang all of my kids' school clothes. They go to public school, but they do have uniforms. And so anything that is, school clothes is very different from their normal, just, casual stuff. And so I hang those things straight as they come out of the dryer. And we have a door on our laundry room, which I'm very thankful for. We have a door in our laundry room, and then we have a little closet that's nearby. So those are doorknobs that I use. Like I have 3 kids, and there are 3 doorknobs right basically near my laundry room. And so, each of them has their hanging clothes hung on a doorknob. And that's what I do just to kind of separate those out. My husband and I, we do have there is a hanging bar above the dryer. And it's funny because I did some sort of a post at one point and people were like, why are all those clothes hanging right there above the dryer? And I'm like, well, because it's easier, And so sometimes if that is fuller than it should be, I will, go ahead and take things into our rooms as I get a handful of things that need to be hung up for my husband and I. But a lot of times I just put our clothes there, and my husband knows to look there for his things that I wash and, which is like his more casual shirts, which you can't wear all week anyway. But his casual shirts that are hung up are my things. And our laundry room is right next to our bedroom anyway. So that's just how I make it work. But I do have that, right above there as a place to, hang things up. Supposed to be temporarily. Sometimes it's not temporary though. Let's see. Oh, some things that I have bought. Because one of the things that you asked were, should I install this? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I get that. Like I get that mentality completely. And so I was just going to kind of mention some of the things that I have purchased over the years, thinking that they were going to solve laundry problems for me, and they have not. Okay. So one of the things is laundry baskets. I used to truly believe that I just needed more laundry baskets. I had a stacking system that was really, really cool. I think it's from the Container Store. It is a very cool one. If that's how you do laundry, how you make it work, then it would be great for you. But it was like a stacking system where they were laundry baskets that could leave on their own, but then they also stacked up really well and kind of had a little mouth opening on the side where you could sort laundry straight into them. It was a great idea. It did not work for me. That kind of sorting as you put things in, as you put dirty clothes. First of all, nobody put their dirty clothes into the laundry room. Everybody in my house puts the dirty clothes. They need a place to put dirty clothes that is right by where they get changed. So I have one in my daughter's room. I have one in my kid's bathroom. I have one I have two in my husband's and my room. So it didn't work for us to have that extra step, okay, to say, oh, we're going to bring all our dirty clothes after we get dressed or, get undressed for bed, whatever, we're going to bring that all to the laundry room. It just didn't work. It needs to be clothes come off. I literally need to be able to throw them into what they're going to stay in until laundry day. And that is an open-topped laundry basket. That's just accepting our reality that extra step is never going to happen. And then the clothes would just stay on the floor, and it just didn't work. Other things I've purchased, and as I said before, we don't have a lot of laundry baskets anymore, and because we don't need them. Other things that I worked were a rolling sorter. I had that in my husband's and my room for a really long time. It just got messed up. That's all. It kind of had like these 3 hanging bags on a rolling sorter, and it sounded like a great idea, but I've just accepted that we are not going to sort our laundry until Sunday night, which Monday is laundry day. And that is fine for us. Everything gets thrown in together, and then I tell the kids, sort your laundry, and that's how we do things. And it works with laundry day really well. If you're doing a load every day, I can totally see how having a sorting system that is the way you put your laundry in as you take clothes off, that would make sense, because then you can see, okay, the darks have enough for a load, or the whites have enough for a load, or whatever. That would work. We don't need to do that because of laundry day, and a once a day system didn't work for us anyway. So, probably partly because of all of that. I bought, and I was excited about this, and I told y'all about it, and I thought it was going to work for sure. I bought a hanger holder. It doesn't work. Like, maybe it works and I just don't know how to make it work, or it's too much hassle, and I'm kind of if it's hassle, I'm just not going to do it kind of a person. It's this metal wire thing that you're supposed to put hangers in so they don't get all tangled up. It does not work. Like, first of all, I can't figure out how to put them in there to where they actually don't get tangled up. The one I saw at Academy that made me want to buy one of these things, it seemed like it was much more secure and actually would keep things from getting tangled up. But it's hard to get things on there and have them not get tangled up. It's hard to get things hangers off of there. And so that has just basically been a complete waste of money for me. Sorry. Maybe I'm just not using it right. Another thing, I thought that a small folding table that I could put outside of my laundry room would be perfect for folding. Like I thought, okay, well, that would be a neat little space, kind of like you talking in the email about not having the space to fold things right out of the dryer. I thought having that little table would solve that problem, because I thought I had the same problem, and it just made sense. I was like, oh, it's a little folding table and they're really cute. I'd gotten it at Walmart. I think I used birthday money for it one time or whatever. And I was like, this is going to be so great. And I'll just fold it, unfold it, set it up on Mondays, use it, fold it back up. And yeah, those are a whole bunch of steps that never happen for me. So I don't know that I ever actually even used it for that. And then I took it to church for a skit, and now it's kind of, I left it up there for so long that I think they think it's their table. Anyway, it didn't work. Okay. It works better for me to skip all of that idealism steps, all those ideal steps, and just fold smaller amounts on top of the washing machine, put those away, come back. That, even though it seems like it would streamline the process to have a little bit larger space, it doesn't. It just doesn't. For one thing, it's a thing that doesn't really have a place in my house, that if I did do it, knowing myself, it would just get left out there, and then we'd be walking around it and bumping into it and all that kind of stuff. And part of my own deslobification process being successful has been accepting the things that I'm just never gonna do and just making it easier. Okay. I hope this has been helpful in answering your question. On the hanging clothes, as far as taking them to the room, yes, we just gather up a handful and take them to the room, so as my kids, I'll call them and I'll say, okay, now I only give them what I'm pretty sure they can hang up in one swoop, because they're not going to do multiple swoops up onto the hanging bar in the closet. I just give them, here, come take these to your side of the closet. And I say, make sure it's on your side, to my two boys that used to be the same size and are not the same size at all anymore. And, the one always says, that's the left side, right? Even though it's the right side. And I'm like, I know he's saying that just to get me irritated. So whatever. Teenage boys are just so fun. Anyway, they really are, actually. Anyway, so that, yes, we do that. We don't put the hanging stuff into a basket. We just make multiple trips, and multiple trips are so much more efficient in our family than setting up some sort of a system that's just going to be a magnet for procrastinator. So, because procrastinator is like our easiest default around here. So it's easier for us to just go ahead and make the multiple trips. So I hope that was helpful. So, all right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.